Hey guys, what's up? This is Matthew Davis Media once again. Welcome back to another collection video. I really wanted to do another one of these, and I wanted to make sure I had enough to do one of these. But welcome back to another collection video. This is going to be on my PS3 Games Collection. Now, before I get into it, I have collected these for a year and a half. I did not have a PlayStation 3 until the beginning of summer last year. It's a long story. It's because, I got the first God of War game for PS2, but it didn't work. And I tried getting another console, but it didn't work on that either. The disc was fine. I even tried playing God of War 2. The disc was completely fine, but apparently God of War doesn't want to work on PS2 anymore. So my only other option was a PS3 because they had the HD remasters. So luckily I got it for a really good price. It runs really well. So much so that I got a bunch more games for it. Enough so that I'm going to be doing a collection video for you guys on my PS3 games collection. Yeah, let's get to it. So anyways, let's get started with a game that I haven't even played yet, and that is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I haven't even finished, what's the new game? Assassin's Creed Odyssey yet. And I haven't even finished the first Assassin's Creed game, because the first Assassin's Creed I think is a good game, but the combat is just really difficult to get into. I really like the environment and the way it progresses, but honestly, I'm really hoping that the combat in this game is a lot more better. So that's why I haven't gotten into this game yet. I also have Assassin's Creed 2, but I don't think I want to finish. I don't think I want to play that game until I finish Assassin's Creed 1, which I don't think I will anytime soon, but it's probably getting to the point where I'll just play the game, but I still have a bunch of other games for PS3 that I haven't even played yet, but Assassin's Creed 4, yeah, all I can say is that I own Assassin's Creed 4. Next up is Bayonetta 1. I already reviewed Bayonetta 2 on my channel for the Wii U. Now, a lot of people say that this is the worst port of the game. I think it's a decent port, in my opinion. I will say the graphics definitely don't look perfect or anything. It does tend to be a little bit laggy, but I was still able to get past the entire game. Uh, all in all, I think I would like this game a lot more if I played it on. Because when I got my Wii U copy of Bayonetta 2, it didn't come with Bayonetta 1. But both games are for the Switch, so I wonder if I might like it more on the Switch, maybe even on the Xbox 360, but I got a PS3 at the time. I wanted to get more games, so that's why I own Bayonetta on PS3. Alright, next up I have Dark Souls 2. I already have Dark Souls 1 on Xbox 360 and Nintendo Switch. Uh, a lot of people say that this is the worst in the Dark Souls series. I love this game, actually. Yeah, I think I could definitely see where fans are going with this, but I'm not really going to get into it right now. It's not as hated as it was before. I mean, critics love the game, but fans are really divided on the game. Some people say it's a masterpiece, some people say it's garbage. I think this is a great game. And one game I really want to get for the PS3 is Demon Souls. I know that game is going to whip me so hard, just like the Dark Souls series does, but Dark Souls 2 I think is a fun game. Next up is Deus Ex Human Revolution. I never played the original Deus Ex or Mankind Divided. I think there's more, but I'm enjoying this game, though I am really stuck on this one mission, which is getting to the point where I'm probably just gonna have to start the whole entire game over again. I forgot which mission it was. It's been a while since I've gone back to this game. It's a first-person shooter RPG, but it runs more on, RPG elements. But all in all, it's a good game. Oh my god, you guys! I am on my bed right now. Why? It's because while I was making the last scene, my laptop battery unexpectedly died. I don't understand why. I don't know why, but for some reason, it just decided to just quit with me. And it took me about an hour for me to get to the next part, because unfortunately, if you notice, it's getting a little bit darker outside, but my microphone just didn't want to work with me. I don't know if it's because my battery was too low or what, so I waited a while. My microphone's working now, so that's why I'm in this position. Don't worry, next position, next time. This isn't going to be permanent, I promise. But anyways, let's continue on with the Devil May Cry HD collection. This includes the first, second, and third game. I started off with the third game because, oh boy, the third game was supposed to be really difficult, but it's supposed to be a bit easier with the third game. It's still really challenging, but I do want to play the other Devil May Cry games, like Devil May Cry 4. I love Devil May Cry 5. That's one of my favorite games of the year, so yeah, I'm not going to do any more cuts just in case something happens again. Alright, next up I have Dragon Age Origins. I haven't played this game yet, mainly because I also got Dragon Age Inquisition. I wanted to play that as well. Here's the thing, though. This version of Dragon Age Inquisition for the PS3, it doesn't really run very well. But that's okay because I got the game for the PS4 also. So I have it for the PS3 and the PS4, but you know, I'm probably never going to play the PS3 version again because I don't know, it's lower quality and I prefer the version on the PS4. I've gotten a lot more stuff done in the PS4 version, so the PS3, I don't know, kind of a waste of $10. I spent $10 on this as well, but hey, I have 2 copies of the game now. So I think when I finish Dragon Age Inquisition, I'll play Dragon Age Origins, the first game of the series. I heard it hasn't really aged very well, but it's still supposed to be a really good game. Next up, I have The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. This is a great game, although I'm kind of having trouble with it right now because I got vampirism. When you're a vampire in the Elder Scrolls series, it takes you kind of a while for you to turn back, so if you're in the daylight too long, you immediately die, so it's kind of a little frustrating with that matter. I don't love this game as much as Elder Scrolls 3. Definitely not as much as Skyrim because, hey, even if there is going to be another Elder Scrolls game, which is probably not going to end very well with all the Bethesda controversy and stuff, I don't think anything in that franchise is going to beat Skyrim. But you know what? That's okay. I still think this is a really fun game. Okay, so next up, I got the Final Fantasy X and X2 series compilation. It looks really, really good. This is like an exclusive packaging. I got this at Second and Charles, and I've gotten a lot more further in this game than I have in the PS2 version. There's like a book of like stuff in there. It looks really cool, but I don't really want to show all that right now. I'm sorry. I mean, I could, but I want to get this video done. But anyways, I love Final Fantasy X. I am really immersed. I love the relationship between Yuna and Tidus in the game. I think it's a really fun game. It's pretty difficult, but you know, I have to grind a lot. That's what you do in JRPGs a lot, is grind and grind and grind so you can make it to the end. But, you know, I love the first Final Fantasy X. I heard if you play Final Fantasy X too, then you get like the true ending to the entire series. But I don't know. I'm still like a quarter done with Final Fantasy X. I don't know. And as I just mentioned earlier in the beginning of the game, I had to get a PS3 for these 2 games because it doesn't run well on PS2 anymore. I got the God of War HD collection. Both really classic, fun PS2 games. It's a shame that we don't have a remaster for the PS2, but that's okay because we got God of War 3 and the new God of War, so that's okay. I don't think there's a bad God of War game out there. Is there? I don't think so. But, you know, first 2 games, they're fantastic. I think the second game is probably the most underrated in the trilogy. I mean, I love God of War 2. I think I might like it in just a bit more than the first game. Because the first game, I thought the last sequence of the game was really disappointing. It had a really epic final boss. It's just, the last level was really, really difficult. With all those blades in the circle, if you get hit by one of them, you fall all the way down. But, you know, all in all, I love both of these games. And a game I reviewed on my channel, Heavy Rain. This is also on the PS4, but I got it for PS3. I was really immersed with the story. I really enjoyed the character stories as well. It's very emotional, very dramatic. It made me cry, or cry a little bit. I mean, depending on what you do, there's always going to be a different end. if everybody lives, which that's how I did, then everybody survives, and it's pretty cool. The origami killer, you can make an origami, which I got this used. It was really nice for the last person that had this, kept that in for me. That was really nice. But yeah, I love this game. I think it's really cool. Even though it's not, it's more of a movie, an interactive movie, than an actual game. It's still fantastic. Okay, next up we have another compilation. This is the Ico and Shadow of the Colossus collection. I love Shadow of the Colossus. It's one of my all-time favorites. I already reviewed that game as well. I haven't fully gotten into Ico yet. All that I know is that, it has some pretty solid combat. It's a lot different than Shadow of the Colossus. They're both from the same creator. I think both games are really immersive with its storytelling, and with Ico, I don't love it as much as Shadow of the Colossus, probably because I just gotten into it. But I really love the relationship between Ico and the girl you have to protect, even though she can be a little bit of a pain to escort. Not as much as Ashley in Resident Evil 4, but it's a really really unique collection. I really like it. Next up is another game that I haven't played yet, Infamous 2. I don't really have much to say. I think it's an open world game. I think you can make like evil choices, giving you a. All that I know is that the main character can make evil choices in the game. I don't know. I haven't really played this game yet. Like I said, there are a few games for PS3 that I haven't fully played yet. Next up is a really, really fantastic indie game. This is the Journey Collection or Collector's Edition. This includes two other games from the same developers. That Game Company, Flow and Flower, I think are pretty good as well. Not as good as Journey, though. Journey is one of the most chill and visually impressive games I've ever played. It's an indie game, and it doesn't focus on combat at all, just an immersive experience. You play as this person, or I don't know, the strange looking, I don't know if it's a man or a woman. All that you know is that it has a really, really unique artistic design, and if you haven't played it for the PlayStation 3, it's also available on PlayStation 4. I highly recommend it. It's a game that I think, if you're a fan of indie games and games in general, you have to play Journey. Okay, this one I only got the disc for is Killzone 2. I had Killzone 3, but for some reason that game just did not want to work with me. I only got the disc. I had to order a case. Unfortunately, there wasn't a cover on it, so I just, used a pen. Alright, next up I got the Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 HD remasters, which are compilations. I've already finished the first game. I'm on the second game right now. But yeah, I could say these are easily the best Disney games, and most licensed games tend to suck. I know recently they just released the remaster compilation for Aladdin and Lion King, even though those games are supposed to be really, really hard. But, I think these games are great. Sure, the plots can be confusing, causing a lot of divisive stuff on what happened, like, how do I explain this or that, but, I think both games are fantastic. Definitely better than the spin-offs. There are some good spin-offs, but, like, Dream Drop, Birth by Sleep, yeah, that's what it's called. Next up is Little Big Planet. This is probably one of the cutest games I've ever played. I mean, Sackboy is just precious. Like, really, I love the side-scrolling gameplay, and you can collect so many stuff so you can build your own levels. The single-player campaign is pretty short, but, you can share your levels online. I'm not sure if you can do that anymore because PS3 is really old now, but I'm still having a lot of fun with this game. Okay, this is kind of what made me want to get a PS3 in the first place. I got Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, yeah. Um, this is definitely one of the best PS3 exclusives. This isn't available on any other console. This was a fantastic game. I thought it was really emotional. I love the cinematic storyline. I love the gameplay. Probably my favorite game of 2008. I mean, I really love this game. Another game that I find to be really underrated and actually a hell of a lot of fun, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Despite its stupid title, it's a really fun spin-off. Platinum Games helped with this, making it a hack and slash game where you play as Raiden. It has so many great boss fights and a fantastic soundtrack. I will say the campaign is a little bit short. It's around 6 hours long, but that doesn't hide the fact that it's 2019 now. It's cheap now. I got this for like, I don't know, $5 maybe. So that was a good enough price. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, despite its dumb title. All right, this is the last handful of PS3 games that I have right now. All right, next up I got Mortal Kombat 2011. I have mostly been playing the single player story mode so far, but there's this one boss that I just cannot get past. I forgot what his name was. I think it was Goro or something like that. He's really hard in the original game, and he's just as hard in here. I couldn't even find a difficulty setting to lower it down. But that doesn't hide the fact that I still think this is a really fun game, all in all. Alright, next up, I got Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. I cannot believe I almost screwed up the title there. I love this game. It's, I remember when I saw this game at GameStop, I saw the poster for it, I was like, huh, this reminds me of a Studio Ghibli film. And that's because Studio Ghibli helped with the art design. It looks really, really good. It felt like I was playing an interactive, an unreleased Studio Ghibli film, and it looked really, really good. It's a JRPG where you play as this boy. It's really, really good. It just released for the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch, believe it or not. And there's also a sequel to the game. Although I highly doubt it will be as good as this. I really enjoyed the story and the characters. Although it is pretty difficult for an E10 rated game. So despite its childish looking look, it's still pretty difficult. Like with its boss fights, it took me like 4 hours before I could finally beat the final boss. I had to grind and farm for items a lot. Like there are 3 phases to the boss, the final boss, and I just got beat so many times. It was really difficult. There are 3 phases. The first 2 phases aren't that tough, but the third phase is like really challenging. If you die from any of those phases, you go back to phase 1. And I was like, damn. Oh man. But still, I was able to beat it. I love this game. Fantastic game. Okay, now let's get into a not-so-fantastic game. In fact, this is probably the worst game I own for PS3 right now. Rogue Warrior. If you thought Bethesda wasn't doing good right now, this was before Skyrim. This is easily one of the worst games I have ever played in my entire life. Like, you got the main character swearing every 5 seconds to see if he sounds cool. The single-player campaign lasts about an hour and a half, and it's basically the same thing. No bosses, just the same enemies with the same music. It's like I'm replaying the same level over and over, and the last level I died so many times. And the graphics, oh. But yeah, this game is garbage. Why didn't I do a crappy gameplay on it? Well, hey, like I said, there's cussing every 5 seconds. I'm sure I'm gonna get demonetized because of that. Anyways, let's get back to the good games. Spec Ops: The Line, really underrated game. I'm definitely more into the story than the actual gameplay, because from what I've heard, the multiplayer was pretty disappointing. But hey, it has one of the best stories in gaming history, and that's something that most people didn't think that this game was gonna pull off, but that's what you have to play this game for its excellent story. It's dark, it's depressing, the choices you make throughout your journey, and there is no happy end. There's like 4 different endings. None of them are happy. I played all the endings, and they are really. It just gives you so many questions, but it's still a satisfying conclusion. So I highly recommend checking this game out. Uh, all right, and last but definitely not least, I got XCOM Enemy Unknown. I just started playing this game. Yeah, the game is definitely hard, but if you're one of those games that are flat out into permadeath, then this game is definitely for you. But if you're in for a more casual difficulty, then you can just it's not very difficult on easy mode. I mean, you can always save, and if you make a mistake, you can always come back to that last save. So that's fair enough. So yeah, XCOM Enemy Unknown. I just got this game. I'm enjoying it so far. And that is all of my PS3 games. Now, I know what you're wondering. Where's The Last of Us? Where's God of War 3? Where are the Uncharted games? They're right here. Like I said, I didn't have a PlayStation 3 at the time. So, I got the remasters for those games. That's why I didn't show them in my PS3 Games Collection. So yeah, those are all the games I own for PS3. I'm not sure what other collection videos I might do later on. But yeah, those are all my PS3 games I own so far. Took me a year and a half to collect all those games. I know there's a lot more out there, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.